Hello everybody, this is Mustafa from Gear Tech again. Today's tutorial we're going to talk about variables in Java, and hopefully I'll be able to explain to you how we use variables in Java and how we declare them. I have this little drawing that I've drawn a couple minutes ago just to show you and explain to you how variables work and how they are saved in memory. So for example, this is like a virtual parking in a big mall, and let's say when you take your car to a parking spot, you remember that it's A1. For example, A could be like the first level, and then 1 could be like row number 1, or something like that. So you remember that you parked your car in A1, so that's all you have to remember. When you go to shopping and you come back, all you have to remember it's A1. A indicates that it's the first level, and 1 indicates that it's the first row, and you go there and you find your car. And same thing here for B. B might mean the basement, or other places might mean the second level. So you know that you parked your car in B1, so that's what you do. You go to B1 and get your car. Same thing here, A3. So you like I said, you do some shopping, you come back, and then you go to A3 to get your car. So pretty much, variables are a location in the computer's memory. It's a location that your computer saves and remembers, and holds for you, so you can assign values to it. The value could be a number, a letter, basically a string, integer, double, a character, or etc. So this is all you have to remember. A variable is a place in memory that holds the value of that variable. So let's get hands on the learning, and we'll just go to our JGrasp. This is from the previous program. What we're gonna do, go to File, New, Java, and then public static, public class, and let's call it variable, and then curly brackets, and then we do public static void main. This is, I hope you this is obvious by now, because this is very important, and this is where Java goes. It goes to public static void main and starts executing what it has in there. So we're gonna be discussing basically like 4 types of variables, and briefly, there is integer, a double, string, and a character. Okay, integer is basically, this is how we declare it. An integer can be like a number that doesn't have a decimal point. So like 3, 4, 0, 1000, 200, 4000, 5, 10, 20. This is what an integer is. So let's say, for example, integer, let's call it income, and then we assign a value to that variable income. Let's say like 1000, semicolon. So now we declared a variable called an integer variable called income, and it's an int, and its value is 1000. So if you want to use the 1000 in the future, we don't have to worry about it. All we have to do is the income right here. Let's say let's get the other type of variables. Let's say double. A double is the opposite of income, and there are more other types of variables, but we all are going to be discussing are these 4s, and it is up to you to understand the others and look them up, and they will be definitely really important when it comes to like a really big program, and you want to be precise about the memory location, I mean the memory size and all that. So that's when it comes in handy to use the other type of variables. So let's say double, and we'll call it let's say increase, or rate of increase, rate of increase, and we assign, let's say like 3.4%. So this is a double. This is what a double can hold. It's every number that has a decimal point. 10.9, 10 million point 7, like 5.2 and etc. The other variable, or the other type of variables is actually string. A string basically can be any name, and it also can be a number. But there are, well, let me put it this way. If you want to assign a number to a string, that number is okay to do that as long as you're not going to do computations with it. You're not going to do calculations. You're not going to do one times that string. Basically, like I can do string, and that's how we declare it with the capital S. String, let's say, call it name, or let's say full name, full name, and then we assign a name to it. Let's say, you know, Gara Tech, basically, like my name, my channel, and semicolon. As you can see here, it's full name, and you gotta have these quotations. That's how we declare a string, because it's not a number. It's just a string. It's something that we want to use. The computer or the system or the program is not going to do any computations with. All it's going to do is appear or show up or show that string whenever it's needed. Like I said, I can also get rid of this and do a full name is or do like number 234. So we're assigning a string that is 234 to a number. And that number, basically, like what I explained to you, is I can, for example, take the 3.4 and multiply it to like 1000, like 1000 times 3.4, and I'll get the result. But I cannot multiply 234 over here to either the 1000 or 3.4, basically because it's a string. We cannot use it for calculations. It's there, just has a meaningful meaning. It's something that we need for our computer. And like I said earlier, name will be a perfect thing to do. And the thing is that wanted, like you saw, that I changed when I changed the variable Garatech to 3.4. I changed the name of the variable to number. And the reason why, I want you, whenever you assign a variable or you want to create a variable, make sure you have a meaningful variable, something that indicates what it is, something that tells you what the value of that thing is. Like I said, if I have income, oh, I know it talks about income. It's money, how much people make. And if it's a double, I know it's gonna be a number, but it's a decimal. And it says rate of increase, that means it's gonna be a percentage. When it says number over here, that means the assignment is gonna be a number, not a not a string. So a string, I'll do full name, and then it's it's there. It's actually the system will hold a place in memory called full name and assign a Garatech. The other thing that you would definitely use it, especially, let's say, for example, when you're doing grades, you would need characters, and we declare it as char, and let's say grade, and the grading system can be either A, B, C, D, or F. So I don't want anybody to get an F. Hopefully you all get A's. So this is how we declare a string, just like that. As you can see, it's a single quotations right here, a single one. When you're declaring a string, it's 2. When you're declaring a char, it's only 1. Let's see if our program will compile and if we have any error. So we do compile. We didn't save the program. Let's save it. It's called variable, and the name of the class is variable, so we're good. There you go. It compiled. There is operation complete, and there is no errors. Let's run it. We ran it and nothing. We didn't see anything. Basically, all we did like is assigning variables, and that's all we did. Um, if we wanna do the if we wanna print out the variables, the value of the variables, we can definitely do that as we learned in the last exam or the last class. I mean, so we can do system dot out dot print, and then we say print income. Compile, run. There you go. The value of that income is 1,000 and it is printed. We can do the same thing for the rest. And let's say rate of increase, compile and run. So we have 10,000. Oh, we actually cannot do that because it's no, actually we can do it, but basically you have to have a space over here. It's all printed in one line, and this might appear to you that, oh my god, it's a wrong calculation, but you have to do is a print lane or print line, or basically this means like print the value of income and go back or skip a line. So we do this, compile, and then run, and as you can see, it's right underneath it. So the other thing we can do calculations. Like we can have, um, you know, assign another variable called double total increase, and then total increase equals income times rate of increase. And here we print total income. We compile, and then we run it, and this is the total. This is the rate of the increase. It's like 3,400. So basically, the reason why I declared this as a double, because we have a double over here. And you can, if you know for sure that it's coming out as an integer, which I think it is, you can assign this to an integer. But as long as it's a double, I think if you have one of the variables that is a double, I think it is better to declare it as a double. Or if you don't want to hold another place in memory, like basically you're adding one memory location in the memory, you don't have to do that. Like you don't have to assign a variable over here and then do the calculation for it. What you can do, you get rid of this, you take the calculations automatically, and instead of printing that variable we had, we can do this, run, and we have the calculations right there. And this is it. If you want to print out the name or the string, we can do this, system out dot print line, and then we print out full name, and there you go. Full name is Garrett Tech. So this is it. What the takeout from this class is the difference between an int, a double string, and a char. Let's do an example for a char over here so we can be fair. You compile, make sure you always compile before you run the program. But in JGrasp, if you didn't compile and you hit run, it will prompt you to compile the program first, and then, or it will compile it for you and then run it. So as you can see, all the variables are printed out. The outcome that I want to tell you, make sure when you declare a variable, and here it's a single name like income, but here it says rate of increase. Rate of increase it's the way I'm declaring this. It's called like the camel case, and it's you start the first initial like a lowercase, and then every other first initial of whatever comes next has to be uppercase, like of increase right here. Full, you see F is a a lowercase, and then N over here is an uppercase. This is one thing. Avoid also declaring variables like what's called like reserved words. Reserved words. These words are reserved by Java program, by Java compiler. If you, let's say you do a double, double, double class, and then you assign a value to that, and you say it's, you know, 4.2, 4.4, you are, you're confusing the compiler. This is a name of a class, or this is like a reserved word. You cannot use that. What you can do class one, and that's a different variable, completely different variable. But avoid using a the reserved variables. The other thing that is a very important, I please avoid using what's called like magic numbers. What the magic numbers are, for example, if we do let's say here we want to print the rate of increase, right? And we do the calculation like income, which is equal to 1,000 multiplied to 3.4 to rate of increase. Let's say sometimes you do income times rate of increase plus plus 90. Okay, this would work. It will definitely work, and it will, gives you the result. But what did you get this 90 from? Once your program gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you're gonna get in trouble if you don't know where those numbers come from. If you're really, if you know that 90, you know it yourself. Let's say you're aware of your program and you know where 90 comes from, but you just didn't mention it in your program. Your friends, let's say if you have a problem, or if you're all working on a big project and you're working together to build this big program, and you all do a part of the program, and at the end you all put them together and to give you this wonderful program. Your friends, when you send the source file, the source code, or the source file, which is the .java file, to your friends, and they find this 90, then they look through your program and they cannot find the 90. Then they get really confused. They start texting you, emailing you, calling you, hey, what is that? So basically, make sure you assign that. Make sure if it's 90, declare it. Let's say int, what do you want to call it? Like donation? It's up to you if you want to call it donation, as long as it's meaningful, you know. There you go. Or, and then here, instead of using 90, you can use donation. This is just a simple example, but you can call it different things. You can call it, charity or whatever, for an employee who's broke. So this is basically it. The other thing that I really want to really talk to you about, and is that if you see here, let's take an example of donation. Yeah, we'll do that. Say donation, we'll print that out. There you go. Run, and donation is 90. What we did over here, let me change the numbers. What we did at line 9, that we did what's called a variable declaration. A variable declaration is when you declare a variable for the first time and give it a value. Let's say if I come down here and I do donation equals to 120, and then run the program, then compile. Here it says 90. I have to print that out again. Compile, run. So now we have 90 and 20. Let me explain this to you. A program in Java it runs in a sequential order. It runs from top to bottom. Like it starts at line 1 and keeps going down all the way at the end of the class. When it says that this is the end of the class, it stops. It quits. It exits. So here we declared the variable for the first time, which called donation, and has a value of 90. We printed the value of the donation on this line, but then later we decided to change the value of donation to 120. So now the value of donation is not 90 anymore. It's gone. It has a new value, which is 120. So the first thing we did here called the variable declaration, and what we did over here is called assignment assignment statement. So the assignment statement is when you take a variable that you had already declared and you change its value to another thing. And this is this is really important, especially when you have a big program. Let's say if you live in a state where the tax rate is, like 6%. Let's say, let's take an example. Yeah, we do double tax rate, and you can see it's a camel case, and it's 3.4, 3.1, and you want to change after you do a after you run your program, it works. But let's say if your program, when it comes to class, you will realize that a program can have a lot of classes. This variable right here, what's called tax rate, is only accessible within the class variable. Basically, it's only accessible over here from any other class. You can do a lot with this tax rate. You can, do you can do a lot with it, as long as it's over here. But let's say if you have, if you want to change the taxes of your state, can you want to go to every single class and change the tax rate? So here, when it comes a final variable, we declare it using word final. As you can see, it's in pen. It's in a different color, which means it's reserved by the Java program. So we do double. Tax rate is always double, and then the name of the variable. Let's say my state, or let's say Virginia tax rate, and then we assign a value to it, and we do let's say like 5.6. Here put a comment and you say this is Virginia. Oops, this is Virginia state tax rate in 2012, basically. So now every what you can see, by the way, it's all in uppercase. This definitely tells the programmer, hey, as soon as he looks at the variable and it's in uppercase, he knows that it's a final, it's a double. All the methods that you will have, which we'll get to in the future, all the methods in your program can have access to this variable because it's as final and it's accessible from everywhere. So this is it. This is what we wanted to to show you today. And if you guys think you like my program, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be very happy to see your comments and do my best to help you whenever I can.